Welcome to the Love and Action Show with me, Alpa Soni. And today I'm really excited to be discussing something very, very new and interesting. We're going to be talking about scalar light therapy today. What is it, and how can a person heal by simply using a photograph that helps to clear viruses, pathogens, and bacteria in the body? Sounds all too good to be true, we could say. Welcome, Tom, to the Love and Action Show. I have been super excited. I am on day 12 of my healing journey with the scalar light therapy. And this is something that I know you've been speaking about. And as we're all on this journey, we're looking for new ways to help within this healing movement. So, yes, over to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. So let's start today's show really, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be asking, what is scalar therapy? Where does it originate from? And yeah, we can start with describing its nature.
I am working with scalar energy. It's not electromagnetic energy. Now, what is that? Well, it's the energy from the sun and the stars. Some people might call that 0 point energy or Tesla energy. So it's a different energy spectrum, and hence it has different properties. It observes different scientific laws. And I like to work with scalar energy because it allows me to have some type of, if you will, dominion over nature. Why? Because this energy is fundamental, and we can control physical matter with this energy. We'll get into that. So I work with scalar energy. It's not electricity. It's safe. It's from the sun and the stars. It's the initial energy of the universe. And I've developed instruments that can control, that can harness scalar energy. That's the key. I'm able to harness this energy now.
So you've been working with me, for example, for the last week, and the pictures that I've sent. My first question really is that, how does it work, and what's the difference between scalar energy and electromagnetic energy?
Scalar and electromagnetic energy, they're two different dimensions. They act differently. So there are two distinct energies, hence there's two distinct dimensions, if you will. Now, when I work with a scalar energy instrument, I want to make this very clear with your audience, it's quantum. I work with a person's photograph. Why? This is my photograph. It has energy attached to it. So a photograph is really a bilocated version of a person. My photograph reports my constitution in real time. So I only work with people's photographs. That's what makes it safe and easy. People do not come to my laboratory. People email me a photograph. And in the scalar energy dimension, we can pick out a scalar energy signature on a photograph. Now, again, this is not electricity, so obviously we can't compare it to any type of electrical instrument. So a scalar energy instrument will look at a person's photograph, will ascertain their spiritual state, their psychological state, their physical state, and then go about correcting what I would consider to be patterns or signatures that need to be corrected. So all of this is informational. It is not a biological process, and it's entirely safe because we're working through the medium of a photograph. We don't work with people per se. We work with energy fields.
And I love that. You see, when we first had our conversation, Tom, initially, and you said to me that, Alpa, we're just going to be using your photograph, I got it straight away, intuitively, and more on the kind of woohoo spiritual side of things, because essentially everything is energy. But I love the fact that when you were trying to explain to me that in more of a scientific, with more of a scientific approach, rather, how have people received this? Like, surely they'll be like, use my photo and you're going to heal me. What's been the response since you've started this?
Well, I've developed this technique to the point where this instrument can pinpoint now an energy signature of a bacterium or a virus. Let's say somebody had the Epstein-Barr virus. This instrument could ascertain the signature or the presence of Epstein-Barr virus in the quantum field and destroy it or eliminate it, eradicate it. So it's my contention now, if we can pick out, select, identify a virus such as Epstein-Barr virus, and then eliminate that in the quantum field, then I have to wait for people to report whether that actually happened to them in person. Now, this science is so new, it's so cutting edge, that we are not able quite to make that connection. Some people call that quantum entanglement or some type of energy connection. Is there an energy connection? I theorize so, but this new science is not to that point where we have been able to establish that without clarification.
See, I love the word quantum. Over the last 3 years in this movement, there's been a lot of information about quantum healing, the quantum financial system, and we're moving into 5D and all of this. So this is what really sparked my interest, Tom, because, right, we've been talking about it since this great awakening movement, and now let's really kind of home in to understanding from an inner plane what quantum healing is and how it works. So again, reverting back to the picture and how it works, it was very, very interesting for me because, like I said, energy is everything. So my next question is that how does scalar energy or scalar light turn on the ability to form our own nutrients?
Yeah, that's a good point. So scalar energy is an instruction. Everything I do, scalar energy allows me to instruct. Now, for instance, if I were to take this photograph, this is beta carotene. If I were to take this magnified photograph of beta carotene and place it inside an instrument, scalar energy instrument, the instrument copies that molecular structures and then downloads that into my quantum body. So this is quantum information. As you said, this is not a biological process. We have quantum economics now. We have quantum information. We're having a Zoom call through information. You're obviously not in my home. So with that, we can have a quantum rendering of beta carotene or any amino acid or vitamin. And all we have to do is take a photograph, which is quantum information, and download that into a person. So you're not ingesting any physical reagent, you're taking any type of drug or any type of protein shake. We're taking the energy of beta carotene and we're downloading it into my quantum body. And it works because we're working with light. Nothing impedes, nothing stops light. Light is fundamental.
Absolutely. And what's been the response from people that have been using this? First, actually, I'll ask this question first. How long has this technology been open for people to begin their healing journey? So how long has scalar light therapy been going for you?
I went public with my work about 11 years ago.
Right.
And it's slowly gaining traction because the results are from the people. And most people say that they feel better. Most people say that they have a favorable experience. Now, that's the key. And I'm glad you asked that. This is a new science. And for me to say that a quantum healing can take place on a photograph, some people will conjecture that's true or accurate. But at the end of the day, do people feel better? And we have many testimonies that say, yes, there is some merit here. For some reason, I feel better. I see an elimination of parasites, or my chakras have been balanced, or I feel more vibrant. And some people say, yes, there is now some type of cause and effect that people can subjectively affirm to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling something. And what I wanted to ask you was from more of a spiritual plane. I am downloading so much information, and at one point I thought I was like seeing things much more clearer, but more from the unknown space. So information that I had wanted and downloads, my creativity, the ideas that have felt blocked for things that I want to do and bring out into my own kind of lane. I'm getting ideas and my creativity feels a lot more expanded. Have you had people say things like that more on that sort of woohoo plane?
Yes, yes. Let me give you for instance. Many people say that within the first week or so that their dreams are much more vivid, or people can remember their dreams. Now, I'm not a sleep therapist, but this energy seems to rebalance the chakras and the brain waves. And in so doing, people have a greater spiritual connection. Maybe we're able to affect their theta state or their alpha state. I don't know. The science is so new. But the evidence is now overwhelming. People say that they feel better, that these sessions increase their mood, elevate their mood. Many people say they're euphoric after these sessions. Some people say they have greater mental clarity. So apparently, scalar energy, this non-physical essence, is sending favorable information into the mind, the brain waves, and the 7 chakras. And people say yes, their depression is lifted. Some people say they no longer have phobias. Others say that yes, they're much more creative, or they're much more communicative. So there's something here.
For sure. I'm a big believer in, the cause and effect energetically. So I believe there's a great power in this. And I believe you're the only one with this technology you mentioned in the world.
Yeah, that's correct. The instruments that I have are custom built. I learned from a great American inventor. His name was Galen Hieronymus, but he's deceased. And I'm the only one who's really taken up his work and tried to advance his work. So with the exception of my work, nobody else is taking up this specific approach through this instrumentation. That's the key. The instruments work. Scalar energy instruments control that quantum energy. And that's really that's the key element here.
Yeah. And what I also was fascinating is that multiple healings can take place. When I say multiple, let's be specific, millions, right? So the website, guys, will be in the description, guys and girls, on the description below. It's www.scalarlighttherapy.com, and you'll be able to see everything, all the programs that is on the site. But there is some really interesting things that you've been doing in India as well, and I'd like to talk about that in a second. But this is very new, like you said, and people's reciprocity may be a little bit like, what, can you just heal somebody through a picture? And then that too, millions of people at a time. At the moment, I believe you are doing something on a large scale and healing a lot of people in large numbers. I mean, how amazing is that?
You're absolutely right. And to demonstrate, if I can work with one photograph and I can work with a collage, or the instruments could easily work with 1 million, 2 million photographs a day. So you have to think of this as information. If a satellite can send out information to 1 million cell phones, or to 1 million satellite dishes, or to 1 million computer modems, then likewise, my instrument can send out information throughout the world. So my instrument is a universal satellite. I could easily work with 1 million, 2 million people a day by photographs.
Isn't that amazing, folks? Like, imagine healing that many people a day. And usually, how long do your programs last? I mean, there's so many variations, and I will actually like to go on the website, if you don't mind, a little bit later in the show. But there are so many different programs, and you offer a 15-day free trial. But
that's right. That's right. There's many applications of this energy. So we, on the website, as you mentioned, there's 15 days of free sessions in which we have 3 protocols wrapped in one. We're able to identify and eradicate microbes. We're able to balance the chakras, and we're able to assemble nutrients. That's the standardized session. And I suggest everybody starts with that. It's a free session. Anybody in the world can sign up for 15 days. That way you experience the sessions. You have some type of working knowledge. Again, this has never been done before that I know of. So thereafter, people can explore the website. We do have male and female hormone therapy. I'm on male hormone therapy. I believe the male hormone therapy has helped me. We have endorphins and neurotransmitters, another program. We have a program called Natural Foods, in which we actually download the phytochemicals of natural foods into a person's energy body. So again, there's many applications of this energy. We're out of time. We won't really address all of them, but the key is, does it work? The key element is yes. Why? Energy never makes a mistake, Alpa. Energy is perfect. Energy works. Energy follows the laws of science. And this instrument that I have, I can instruct it. And in so doing, I can either deliver a nutrient, or I can instruct the instrument to find a pathogen, a toxin, and break it apart. Now, this is what I've established with this instrument. That gives me that some type of control over physical nature, physical reality.
That's awesome. And then going back to the other subject that I mentioned, India. For my audience that come from my background, that follow me, I actually had a friend of mine say, please do talk about what work you carried out in India. And that was awesome because I spoke to her about it, but I don't want to give it much away. I'd let you say it. Tom's worked in India extensively with a large number of patients. And yes, over to you, Tom. Like,
Okay.
share that story with us.
Yeah, thank you. We're working with an HIV clinic in Delhi, India. Om Prakash is the name. And we've been working with this clinic now for at least 5 years. In the course of 5 years, we've worked with 5,000 plus people who've sent their photograph to us. This is a photograph from Om Prakash. This is some of the members, some of the participants at the clinic in Delhi, India. Now, after we work with these people at this HIV clinic, some of the people have a follow-up PCR test. And their PCR tests are now not detectable. There's no detectable viral load. If I switch this over, this is one of the PCR test results from Om Prakash, in which this individual declares, now this is their testimony, that there's no viral load after being infected with the HIV virus for at least 10 years.
Wow. So this person had HIV for 10 years. And how long did this therapy take?
Within, say, 3 or 4 months after working with this individual, the individual had a follow-up PCR test. So, and the PCR test now is not detectable. Wow. So I will allow your audience to draw their conclusion. Now, keep in mind, this has never been done before. It's groundbreaking. So I have to introduce this to the world by way of testimonies. There is no scientific protocol to test or prove or disprove my approach. This is such cutting edge. This is such a new science. Nobody's been able to duplicate my work. So I have to rely upon testimonies.
Of course. And have you been met with any resistance from the medical fraternity?
No. And I'll tell you why. I don't work with people or animals. I work with photographs of people or animals.
Right.
Now, I'm not dodging your question. I want to make this very clear. By the way, I'm not a medical professional. I'm a scalar energy researcher. I don't work with people. I work with photographs of people. This is the new science. Now, keep in mind, if I was a clinician, I'd be working with the physical body. This would be a biological process. I'm not a medical professional. I'm a scalar energy researcher in which I work with photographs that represent people. And I work with the information field, not the biological field. So it's an entirely new approach. It's a new science. And right now, I don't have any pushback, and I should not, because it's not even defined what I'm doing. Nobody knows what I'm doing. Nobody has this type of instrumentation.
So there's going to be quite a bit of curiosity surrounding this. So this is really, would you say, at its incision, like we're at the start. So what in your view is the future of scalar energy and its acceptance, you know, to change the world for better? Because come on, if we've got pictures and that you can actually help people in their healing journey, as long as they're also helping themselves. I'm a true believer that if you just say, right, I'm going to give Tom my picture and then I'm just going to wait for him to heal me with everything that's going on, but I'm going to still sit there and eat my McDonald's and chips and fatty food and never exercise. Hey, let's put things into perspective. I just wanted to put that out there because I'm a believer of sort of doing a multitude of things to help with your health and your wellness. So, of course, if you're going to be eating junk food and not exercising, having bad mental health, negativity within your thought process, and then you've sent your picture to Tom, and then you're expecting him to wave that magic scalar wand and, you know, eradicate all your troubles, is not really likely going to help the situation, is it, Tom?
You're very well put. Thank you so much. So what is this? It's a call to action. People have to take care of themselves. And as you well pointed out, eat well, eat healthful foods. Don't eat junk food. Exercise. So if anything, I can encourage people by this natural energy, scalar energies from the sun and the stars, to live a natural, wholesome lifestyle.
Yeah. And where do you see this the future going with scalar energy and your work?
Thank you. Eventually, millions of people will start sending me photographs. And with millions of testimonies, it will be incontrovertible. You will not be able to stop this grassroots movement. So we'll start with quantum healing, quantum energy. And then I want to have offshoots. I want to get into a type of energy production where I can deliver scalar energy and illuminate a building. So that will be free energy to mankind. To use scalar energy, this free energy from the sun and the stars, to power a home or to power a factory. And then eventually we'll get into transportation with scalar energy. We'll have telecommunications by way of scalar energy. It will change the world. It will find its mark in every industry, period.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you. I think when we spoke, Thomas, you know, I could really feel the energy again in your voice. And there was something that this spirit, I call it spirit, an exuberant spirit. And, you know, when you sort of meet someone new, we always kind of say, oh, I'm not sure about that, or it's your gut feeling. So this is all energy, and the energy that that person is kind of transferring and transmuting, and it's out there in the energy field, and we can feel a sense from that person. We may not be scientifically be able to explain it, but again, this is kind of correlating with what you are saying in your work. So, you know, it began somewhere, your journey started somewhere, and, you know, who were the researchers behind this project and the physicists of the, you know, the past? How did this all come about for you in your particular journey?
In my particular instance, I was fortunate enough to meet a Hieronymus family. This is a group of inventors back in actually 1993, and I was able to purchase Hieronymus scalar energy instruments. He's one of the few bona fide scalar energy researchers. So in many ways, I inherited his instruments and his notes. And sadly, the family has passed. They're all deceased, and nobody carries on with the work. Nonetheless, I see the merit, and I want to carry on with this legacy. So I was fortunate enough to meet these American inventors, Hieronymus. Then I have to give tribute also to the great scientist Nikola Tesla, because Tesla was the first person. Tesla was the first person to discover and harness scalar energy. He was the first scalar energy researcher. And in many ways, I've copied, at least in theory, what Tesla has done. Now, to make this very clear to your audience, Nikola Tesla was right. Nikola Tesla was working on free energy. He wanted to send free energy throughout the world. I have a free energy device, a Tesla device, that sends free energy by way of a photograph. So if Tesla wanted to do that with homes and cars and buildings, I at least can do that with people and pets. Tesla was right. And I want to expand upon my work so eventually I can prove that Tesla had the ability, the foresight to see free energy for the world. Is that day coming? Yes, it is.
And in your journey so far, what's been your most notable experience in terms of someone's healing journey? So we spoke about India and the amount of patients that you work with. That really excited me, and I thought, wow, this is extraordinary. But if you don't mind sharing some more amazing experiences with us.
We do a great deal of pro bono work in India and throughout Africa and Asia. Now, many times we're working with HIV communities. Why? Because people don't have the money for health concerns. And HIV, according to the establishment, is an incurable disease. But with my work throughout India and Africa and Asia, many people who are reporting that scalar energy has successfully eradicated HIV, or in their words, they tell me that they feel better and they no longer have a viral load. Now, for me to establish that throughout the world, on all the continents, and with people from various backgrounds, then I think there's some merit to this work. I've been at this now for years, and the cross-section of people who have this favorable experience, it's beyond chance, Alpa. This is not hyperbole. So there's some merit to my work. Yes, I believe that this will be embraced eventually as the means to address pathogenic disease.
And it also helps plants and pets.
Yes. Yes, many people send me their photographs of their pets. Pets have parasites, as we realize.
And plants, you said as well.
Yes, I thank you. I have some farmers who send me photographs of their orchard, their fruit orchard, or I'll have people in their backyard. They say my plants have a fungus, and we'll be able to treat out that fungus in their trees or in their plants. So keep in mind, all you need is a photograph of a person, an animal, or a plant. Regardless of your location on planet Earth, we can work with you successfully in this quantum dimension. So we transcend time and space. And what's one of the detriments of working in this Newtonian world? You're bound by time and space. In a scalar energy world outside of Newtonian physics, there is no impediment. You transcend time and space. So this in and of itself addresses the notion of scarcity. Yep. There is no scarcity with scalar energy. This is free energy.
Wow. And it covers quite a lot. And every individual is different in their healing journey. And speaking of time, how would it work? So let's say you've been very kind and offered me the trial for 30 days, just so that I can sort of really get a feeling. And I'm on day 12, folks, and there's all sorts happening. Is it common to actually have what I call the Herxheimer's reaction? So it's like, when you're detoxing viruses, bacteria, fungus from the body, do sometimes people feel a little bit worse for wear before they start getting better? Have you had experience of that with people on the program?
A few people have expressed that, but per se, there's no Herxheimer reaction or any type of die-off because we're not working with chemicals.
Right.
Everything we're doing, we're transmuting matter. So it's not a chemical process, it's an informational process. So some people experience some type of a shift, change. Some people might call that a purging. But per se, it's not a toxic reaction because it's not a chemical reaction. This is what I like about my work. There's no downside. There is no biological action, hence there is no biological consequence.
Yeah. And this is a question that I wanted to ask, because again, it's pertinent to more of the spiritual side, but how does Scalar Light balance the chakras, the 7 major chakras and the meridian points?
Now, scalar energy has been photographed by some researchers, and it's a double helix. And it rotates, it spins, well, much like our chakras that spin. So it's always been my consideration that we do have 7 major chakras and they spin. And what causes that spinning? It has to be scalar energy. So a scalar energy instrument should cause or correct the spin of our 7 chakras. And in so doing, again, many people feel this psychological boost, this emotional boost through energy. It's not a chemical, it's not therapy. Energy will rebalance our 7 chakras. Well, that's the fundamental way of going about balancing our chakras.
Yeah, well, and our chakras are very important in determining so many blockages if in our body. So if there's root chakra imbalances, there's so many kind of earlier years wounding and so many things like the psychological, spiritual people describe. So where you have these kind of if you go and see like a spiritual healer, they'll say there's a bit of a block in your solar plexus or the throat chakra for people who find it difficult to speak and say their truth. This is almost like helping to start the process of removing these blockages. Am I right? And
yes.
And sort of giving it light, the light that it needs to shine, as it were.
Unintended, yes.
No,
well
I was just going to say that.
Well spoken. So what am I getting at? Light, energy is fundamental. It's instructions. That's the cause. The effect is how you feel. Why not work with the cause of nature? Scalar energy, light energy is the cause, the driving force, the animating force. Why not animate your 7 chakras with the animating force of scalar energy? That's the key to my work. It's informational. I'm in a different dimension. This is not the electromagnetic dimension. There are 2 dimensions. And we've heard this expression before, two dimensions, parallel universes. It all depends on how you define those terms, but I can guarantee you, and Tesla will concur, Tesla realized later in his life he was no longer working with electricity. One of the world's greatest electrical engineers realized that there were two energies.
Yeah. I'm feeling something, especially in my solar plex since I've had it done. My throat chakra and the crown. So that's again just going back to what I said right at the start of the show, Tom, that there's clarity, there's ideas that are flooding in. Is it coincidence since I started this? Absolutely not. So I am very, very grateful that, you know, you've extended that. And everyone, you know, there is a support center when you go onto the website. Actually, you know what? Is it okay if I share the
Yes.
site?
No.
Just bear with me 1 second while I do that. And can stop share. Hold on, sorry. Wrong one.
The website is scalarlight.com, and we offer 15 days of free sessions to anybody in the world. So please try this. There's no obligation. This is the way for you, the audience, to experience this new technology. All you have to do is send a photograph of your face. That's all we ask for.
Right. So here we go. If you go onto the site, can you see that, Tom?
Yes, indeed. Yep.
All right. So here's the site. And I love this, that, you know, you're giving a free trial, because of course this is new, so many questions, and I hope we've covered most of them, but there's also information about what Tom has shared with us, the testimonials, the programs. You know, this is what I wanted to ask you, actually, the different types of programs. So once people have their 15-day free trial, is there support through the site for them to kind of speak to someone and see which is the right program for them?
Yes. We have we're on the phone 7 days a week. You can send us an email, or you can call us up on the telly, and we will answer your question. We want people to ask questions. This is a new science, and it merits our support. We're there to help you.
Yeah. So, you know, you've got, say someone messages you and they have addictive behavior and chemical detox, or the fat program, or digestive enzyme program. Will there be someone there after taking all the information from that individual that will say, right, let's start you on a program for, and is it time, like, will there be a certain time that they'll need to go? That person will be able to tell them and determine how long they need to be on these programs?
We have people adjudicate how long they want to be on the program. Why? Everybody's different. So what we suggest is people call our support desk or send us an email, and in so doing, we will recommend. And then we'll, if necessary, we'll have a telephone conversation with you. We'll walk through the processes with you. And we would strongly suggest that you try one session at a time, 30 days of, say, female hormones, and then 30 days of endorphins and neurotransmitters. That way you can make the decision how you benefit for each program. So this is an ongoing process. Many of our clients are with us for years because they believe one of those programs is appropriate for their health. Right. And it takes time. So everybody's unique. I can't give a blanket statement, but call us. We will walk through the process with you.
Absolutely. And there's a video here as well. I'm not sure if you have time for us to play it, but if you want to watch and just go through what Tom's been speaking about, do watch this video. It's about 5 minutes long, and it explains everything that Tom has shared with us today. So actually it's a bit long. But yeah, so all the information is there. And so the future of Scalar Light, I mean, it's going really well for you right now. You're experiencing great testimonials. If anybody wants to know more about this, please get in touch with me and email myself, and then I'll pass the information to Tom. If you'd like Tom on your show, again, just let me know. The more people that we heal and help through these different modalities, healing modalities, is the way forward. We have to ask ourselves many questions in this journey, especially these 3 years where we're learning so much about ourselves, spiritually, mentally, and of course our health, how much we've also been lied to by the medical fraternities, and I'll leave that there. But this is a subject that we've been crying out for: quantum healing, the quantum healing space. It's a powerful word, and it's a powerful modality as per Tom's work, and it's working. But am I leaving anything else out, Tom, that you'd like to share with my viewers that you think is important that they should know?
No, that was very fluent. Thank you. The key is this: we need answers. My entire scientific career, I'm looking for answers. I believe in results. If you visit my website, you'll read about 4,000 testimonies. Most of them are very favorable as to what we're doing. I would say that that's the cornerstone of our work. Results, performance. Does this work? Judge by those 4,000 testimonies. That's the only way we can judge this new science. Again, no other scientific community has been able to substantiate my work or debunk my work. Why? It's that cutting edge.
Yeah, well, testimonials are very important, even in what I do with my kind of herbal healing. And the testimonials that we've had with children within the autism community, we rely on word of mouth and testimonials. Does it work? Does it work for you? So of course you've got a magnitude of testimonials, and I really appreciate the work that you're doing, and I implore everyone to look at the site, speak to somebody if there's any questions, and of course you can always contact me if you have any other questions. All the details will be in the description box below. Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and we'll be speaking quite regularly. I think I'll be putting this on all my social platforms, but carry on doing this amazing work. And again, Tom, the technology that Tom uses he's the only person in the world that has this. So this is quite groundbreaking. There is a lot of conversations out there about scalar energy, and people say, oh, well, I'm using that. And I believe actually with what you do and how you work and the technology that you use, you are the only person in the world that is with this.
That's correct. My instruments are unique. My approach, my protocol is unique. So let's just use the word unique. I don't compare myself to others because it's not appropriate. Their work is unique. My work is unique.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure people will go on the site and see for themselves. You've got nothing to lose. 15-day free trial. Do give it a shot. So with that said, everyone, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you all. And please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel, because you know this is my second channel. I got taken down. So help me build this new channel where I'll be having conversations of this nature more often. Lots of love.